Joining me now to speak on this is former mayoral candidate Nims Obunge and journalist Yvonne, Dr. Yvonne Ridley. Good to have you join us.
Thank you.
Great to be with you.
Let me start with you, Nims Obunge. This is the first, in just 6 months, we've seen the Prime Minister being elected of Indian heritage. We've also seen now the First Minister, who is an British Asian. He's also, Scottish Asian rather. He's also a Muslim. How significant is this for the UK?
I think it's very significant. I think it shows that we are becoming much more integrated. I won't use the word tolerant, but I feel that there's a much more of an integrated community coming across, not just Scotland, Great Britain, as it were. Like we know of Humza, his parents came in from Pakistan in 1960. So his grandparents, dare I say. And like he rightly alluded to, when his grandparents came, they could not speak English. They could hardly speak a word of English, but here he is, 37 years old, a Muslim being the first ethnic minority leader of a significant national party, dare I say, in Scotland, and to become the first minister of Scotland, leading on the SNP. I think it's very significant. I think it's about time we see more people of ethnic minority background across the breadth and length of British politics. I co-chair the Race Equality Commission with Baroness Scotland here in the United Kingdom. And that was post-Black Lives Matter, which started in the US. But we started a movement here in the United Kingdom to ensure that no matter the background you come from, we should have a nation where, irrespective of your cultural heritage or your faith or your color, everybody should have a right to determine the future of their city and their nation, and should not be judged by the color of their skin.
Dr. Ridley, I remember during the debate, one of the candidates, Kate Forbes, said to Humza Yousaf, and I just want to quote her, she said, when you were transport minister, the trains were never on time. When you were justice secretary, the police were stretched to a breaking point. And now as health minister, we've got record high waiting time. And my question really is, does he have the track record to lead at this time?
Well, it's a matter of time. He certainly has to rise to the challenge, and it isn't an easy job he's taking over. His own party is split, very divided, after this bruising 4 or 5 week hustings to find a new leader for the Scottish National Party, and almost certainly to become First Minister. But a lot of people will be watching very closely just to see if he can rise to this challenge, because the economic climate in the UK is disastrous at the moment. The SNP is supposed to be the party of independence, but there's no sign yet of him. Of course, it's early days, but there's no sign yet of him talking realistically about delivering independence. He has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. And as Nim said, 37 years old, the youngest person to become a First Minister, one of the most powerful political roles in the country. And I just hope that he does succeed for Scotland's sake, as well as for all the children in the ethnic minorities who are looking up to him as a role model now. He has a great deal of responsibility on his shoulders, not just political, but for many reasons.
And Mr. Obunge, there is trouble, as we see in the SNP, over how to achieve a second independence referendum, what do you think will remain of Scotland's independence bid?
We know that even though it is not publicly said, Nicola Sturgeon, upon her resignation, had a preferential. It is said that her preference was going to be Humza, and the SNP establishment seems to be backing Humza as against Katie Forbes. And Humza has made a promise that he would deliver independence to Scotland. But let's recognize that, as we rightly heard, that there is a division within the SNP. There is a division within Scotland, as it were. And Nicola Sturgeon did have this moment where you would find that those who wanted independence were those who said they liked that they liked her, but the percentage of those who now had gotten tired of the pursuit of independence, and now there's that sense of just wanting to stay and not have an independent Scotland, they represent the majority. Even in this bid to become the leader of the SNP, the numbers, they have about 77,000 people in their party, of which about 50,000 voted. Those numbers don't represent the Scottish people. And the Scottish people, pollsters have said that it would have leaned more towards Katie Forbes, and the drive towards independence is not really the drive that I think Scotland is looking for right now. I think the focus is the cost of living crisis, the issue around the economy, and the pursuit for independence is not the key thing. There are bigger issues that the First Minister will need to deal with at this moment. And he would also need to deal with the issues about the gender reform that the British government clearly has made a firm position about, and saying we don't need to see that gender recognition reform put into law. So there are a number of things he has to confront. Independence should not be on the priority on his front burner. If anything, I would say he should focus on supporting the economy within Scotland and ensuring that the issues around high drug deaths that they're experiencing in Scotland, these core issues are addressed. We heard just now about the issues around health services, the waiting times. He's got so many issues he's got to address.
Mr. Obunge, if you can hear me, let me get in Dr. Ridley on this one, because on the back of what Mr. Obunge was saying, Dr. Ridley, he's largely described as a Sturgeon loyalist, but he says he's his own man. Do you see continuity, or do you see change?
I don't see change. He promoted himself as the continuity candidate, so which I think is rather unfortunate, because Scotland desperately needs change. As you've heard about the health crisis, there are some enormous challenges for him to navigate, and the cost of living as well. Scotland is an oil-rich, energy-rich, water-rich country, and yet the people in Scotland pay the highest energy bills in the United Kingdom. Obviously, they want to know why, and they want to know why there is this imbalance. And he's got quite a juggling act to go through, and especially in this very volatile political climate, if he can't cut it as the continuity candidate, I don't think he'll last very long, which again would be disastrous for those who are celebrating the fact that we've got this Asian First Minister who's broken through so many glass ceilings to get to this journey, to get to where he is now. I mean, he said yesterday that when he was announced as the clear winner, well, not such a clear winner, it was a closely contested race. He said he was the happiest
no matter
man.
how much, no matter how short, apologies for interrupting, but we know that no matter how short his time in office will be, whether it's going to be short or long, it cannot be as short as that of Liz Truss, who has now broken all record. We'll continue to watch out for what the First Minister will do. Thank you both for talking to us. Mayoral candidate, former mayoral candidate, Nims Obunge, always a pleasure to speak with you. And journalist Dr. Yvonne Ridley, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
That's the What Now. We'll have more updates at 4. Thanks for watching.